why haven't you gotten a VPN yet? Visit expressvpn.com/rttv today.
Hello and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. I'm Ben, the voice of Wiz, and joined by, of course, below me, Chad James, voice of Boomstick.
Hi.
Hello, Chad.
Hi.
Next to him
You're doing
is
all of our intros.
Well, every time we do this, it becomes a complete mess as we try to figure out who intros who. So I'm just going to lead it. Next to him is Sam Mitchell.
That so much more. Please continue. Please
That's
go
Sam
for it. I love
for
this.
you.
Yeah, I'm in. 100%.
For you audio viewers or audio listeners, you don't view audio. And then
Well, you can.
we're also joined by Joshua Kazemi, editor for Death Battle. Hey, Josh. Hello.
Hey.
Wait. This way.
I was
Hello.
looking at you.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it now, man. Now I'm like, we're good.
Shit. Well, you're on like streams all the time. Because you were just on a stream with Blaine right before this.
I was just playing
coming in hot.
What the Golf with
what were you
Blaine
doing?
to promote the release of Hardcore Mini Golf, which airs today on Rooster Teeth. So
Nice.
go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we air this live on RTTV every Wednesday, and there's a bunch of shows that air on RTTV like all the time. So feel free to check it out.
Yep. And you know what? I don't think we've actually talked about it before, but normally our all of our live streams are for our first members, but during quarantine, we wanted to open it up because obviously people could use some entertainment with everything that's going on in the world. So if you guys do want to watch this live, all you have to do is just head to roosterteeth.com/live every Wednesday at noon Central, and you guys can watch us. You don't have to sign up for a first account, but we do encourage you to try it out if you want to. So come hang out.
Join in the chat and everything. I'm looking at the chat right now. We got some awesome regulars in there. Good to see you all. We do this live, everybody. Surprise. I think we talked about it
I don't think
when
it's
it
much of a
first started. But
Dude, Sam, your beard is getting epic.
It's getting there. It's annoying. I don't like it. Life is in general tough, but with a beard it's worse. Although I did have the first moment of like, oh wait, maybe this is like the best, because like I was eating toast, right? And then like 5 minutes later, I found a little piece of toast. And I was like, delicious. I was like, now I understand why people have beards. You find secret toasts later in the day.
Yeah.
That's not gross.
Anyway,
it's my beard and my toast. I don't give a shit.
We are the cast of crew of Death Battle, so we can talk about what's going on with the show, as well as DBX, which is awesome. The second episode of DBX just aired, which was the unexpectedly awesome Mulan versus Lucina. If you haven't checked that out, go do so. This one's animated by Joshua Wright and Annie. And Sam, do you want to dive into a little bit about that?
Yeah, this one's cool. This is Josh and Annie. This is actually the first thing for us they've ever animated. Like, this is the first time using them as freelancers. This is the first project they got. They came recommended by one of our in-house 2D animators, Zach. And I mean, they work really great. This is like, especially for this, like for us being like the first thing they turned in, like we were just like, wow, yeah, this is really good. It's fun. I like the beats in it. The whole thing's cool.
So these two have never done. These two have never
this
done
is their
like
first
a
Death Battle
before.
project. Yeah, nothing. This is their first time working with us, and it was
very cool.
Surprisingly smooth.
Just like
and
we were
awesome.
talking about last week. DBX is a great way for us to kind of test out new animators. So,
and then they obviously we liked them because they also animated episode 5, which you'll see in 2 weeks. So we're like,
perfect.
Yeah,
good job, guys.
I saw some.
Zach. It was very fun.
I saw some folks on responding to the Twitter post like, "What, a new episode already?" Yeah, there's DBX every single week for like the next 8 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever. There's 10 of them. Which
it'll be
awesome.
8 now. We just hit week 2. Yeah. And there's like, and we're doing other stuff like not yesterday, Monday, I believe. Josh, you made a piece of content that we've never had before.
I
music
did.
video.
Yeah, that was very fun to cut together. It was kind of it kind of came. I mean, I guess we had talked about it for a little bit, but it was a very quick turnaround for me, and it was really fun to cut together to get that awesome Wings of Iron track and like make this awesome 80s VHS music video.
Wait,
was
what?
So
Yeah.
How
so
have I
fun.
not heard about this?
Chad.
You haven't
come
heard
on.
of this yet?
Someone's out
That's
of
my
the loop.
check it out.
favorite death battle track that we've ever
man.
had, and you know that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so fun. I assumed
have
that you've
a
been listening
music
to it
video for it now.
nonstop. Yeah. So I had to like I watched a bunch of 80s music videos to get inspiration. I watched like Every Rose Has a Thorn and Cyndi Lauper and like, all this stuff. It's like
Hell
taking
yeah.
notes like with all these transitions and stuff. It was a blast through and through.
How did I not
It was
know
very
about this?
fun.
I'm watching this. I'm watching that immediately after this.
Yeah, dude.
episode.
You have to. It was also fun to like revisit my editing roots because when I like the first thing I started doing as an editor was making music videos. So to go back to that was really fun. It's so satisfying to cut something to the rhythm of a song. It's like
Yeah.
it's great. It's so fun.
I remember when
Yeah.
we worked with the Sword and made that music
yeah.
video for him.
That
Yeah,
was
they
so
used to
fun.
do a ton of work on that.
Yeah. That was like
Oh,
right
yeah.
when I
What
first
was that?
started.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Year and a half ago?
Probably
2 years
yeah.
ago?
that.
It was a little bit ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That was such
Yeah.
a weird thing for us to do too. That was so out of it was awesome. It was just like I wish that happened more often because that essentially happened. Like if y'all like audience don't know this story, there's a band called The Sword, but is like metalish, like heavy rock, right? And like I know it came through someone we used to work with in the office who like knew them personally. And then they just kind of were like, "Hey, we want a music video," which is something we literally have never like fucked with ever. And they're like, "Will you animate?
They're like,
help
"We
us
want it to be a
animate and do
game."
this shit?" And like, well, yeah, we want it to like look kind of like that retro RPG and stuff. And we were like, "Fuck yeah!" and did it. And like, I really wish more random opportunities, like people, because like that's literally a band we didn't know was like, "Hey guys, can we do something?" And we are like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it, let's work." Like, yeah,
I
like, and
assumed that
wish
they
we
had
got
done a death battle track or something. They were just totally
No,
Yeah.
they knew somebody, and they basically were like, they reached out. I think was it Brian
a guy
Riley
Andy who used to be.
Oh, it was
it's
Andy. That's right, it was
who used to be
Andy.
games. Yeah.
in the games department? They're like, "Hey, we want like a music video to look like a game. Can you guys do that?" And he's like, "Well, we don't want to build a game for a music video, so you actually need is animation, but we do that." So like, and then they went to us because we mess with like we do like sprite animation, and that's what they were looking for, the older style. So we're like, I mean, yeah, we can do it, like, you know. And then we just started talking about it, and Luis put like a ton of work into it. And yeah, it was
it's
really
really
cool.
fucking
It's
cool.
Used Future. You guys can look it up. So The Sword, Used Future, if you want to check it out. It came out so good. Like, and the band was
Yeah.
super
So
fucking cool
fun.
to work with. Everything about that. But yeah, like this is one of the most random weird things that we've done. But it came out so cool.
I don't know if it's weird, but it definitely
I mean,
kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things, especially before we fully integrated into the team, has always sort of prided itself in is our ability to just kind of do everything to a certain degree. We have a very wide array of talents, or as we were coming into Rooster Teeth, we had a crew of people who had a very wide array of talents. That's why you see like Chad off with core talent doing crazy skits like hardcore mini golf, and then Sam over here producing multiple shows, like a million. I think we talked about last week how you have a million things that you're producing, Sam, and then Josh
Hey,
over
broke
here
the
editing a
timesheet.
million different things. Yeah. So it's really cool seeing everybody trying new things, and I feel like we're all like really good at doing that and just exploring and stuff like that. So bringing in the music video style for that was new to us, but also something we knew we could do.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know if we've ever been like, no, we can't do that. It's always just been like, I mean, yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah,
Let's find out.
We'll try. Why not? Let's give it a shot.
I mean, that's why
To be honest-
literally, I think last week we were talking about how Death Battle is very much a way we explore animation styles and things like that. Like how we brought Unreal Engine into Rooster Teeth was through Death Battle. They were like, who can figure out how to use Unreal? We need to bring this into our pipeline. And we were like, we'll figure it out. Let's do it. And then we did. Which is why some of our more recent like 3D death battles look so fucking good.
Yeah. Especially you can see it in like Wonder Woman She-Ra, how much the lighting and everything affects that, like from the Unreal Engine, and how just like wow, it can make everything look.
Yeah, and we're able to do art styles and stuff that we weren't able to do before. Like you just look at what Torian did with Thor versus Wonder Woman, and what Christina did with She-Ra versus Wonder Woman, and Torian was kind of limited. Obviously, his animation looks freaking phenomenal because it's, of course, it's Torian. But visually wise, he was very limited by what Autodesk could do for him. Whereas going through Unreal, Christina was able to create sort of a cell shaded, harsh lighting, kind of harsh fade off kind of look, and looks really cool. I really like the art style of She-Ra Wonder Woman. I'd like to use it for more things.
It is so nice getting pre-lit assets that we can just buy.
Like that too
for sure.
The stage from She-Ra Wonder Woman is straight from God, what is the game called? The one that shut down?
Paragon.
That was
Paragon.
Yeah.
Literally, when you get $1 million of assets for free, hell yeah, it's fantastic.
Sometimes very cheap.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm seeing in the chat crossover 4 asking. So I was going to save this conversation for what's going on, but we might as well jump into it because it was already mentioned. Will there be any more death battle music videos? And yes, that is the general idea. We'd like to do more of this. Actually, Gerardo is currently editing the next one, which will be so the first one was Theirwolf Media's Wings of Iron, which, as we've all collectively said multiple times, is one of our favorite tracks we've ever done, just because how good it is for the episode. It is that 80s like rock ballad thing going on, and man,
what I miss,
Aaron's crew is so good at just like picking up a genre and just perfecting it. Like, I don't know, he's like a magic musician or something like that, or
they're incredible.
A magician. Like it's
musician.
There we go.
Card.
Dude, yeah, and like that's one of the things I miss the most about recording when we were recording on broadcasts set, because like they would just be pumping like a bunch of our music, and Wings of Iron would always come on like right before we started, and I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like singing to it, and then we get right into it, man. It got me amped.
But then we got one coming up with the other musician we've been working with for a long time, even longer than Aaron, Brandon Yates, who is like where Aaron is the musician magician when it comes to genre. Brandon is like the full package. He's got the lyrics, he's got the metal, he's got the rock. He can do pretty much every aspect of a track. So we are going with one of his most popular tracks he's done for us, the Infection Perfection track that was done for Sigma versus Ultron.
Sigma Ultron,
which I love it, and it's coming together really well. It's really cool. So that will be the next music video that we release. Whether or not this becomes a regular thing is honestly up to you guys. Let us know if you want. We have a couple planned that we'll probably release going forward. But as of right now, we're just kind of trying it out to see how people react. And if you all want to see more of them, let us know. Please let us know, and let us know which tracks you think would be great to
we should do Ball Rock Combo. That track slaps too, man.
That's not our track. we can't. That is the last episode that we used.
No, but we could do.
No, that was. I thought we used.
No, you are thinking of. I think you're thinking of Ryujin.
Ryujin. I'm thinking Ryujin. Sorry.
That's
what I meant.
Yeah, Ryujin should be done too. Yeah, hopefully.
Although Balrog combo is how we were introduced to Omega Sparks, who did lyrics for Ryujin, I believe.
That's why I connected that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a pathway there. You just got to figure it out.
And we should also do. I can't remember the name of the track, but from Miles Static, we should do that one too. That one's really good.
Yeah.
But
that one was so fun.
I'm sure we'll get Omega involved in some of them as well. But again, it's really up to you guys. Let us know which tracks you think would be great, and if you want to see it as a regular thing, I would love for it to be a regular thing. Josh did a fantastic job putting together the Wings of Iron track, which is I knew that was the one we had to like try it out with. Like when the idea first came up, I was like, let's do it with this one, because like I can already kind of see like the kind of visualized version of what we would want to go with. Obviously, being the general idea is that it's also a way to get these magicians on screen a little bit, so you guys can see what they're like. Because we've been working with them for so long, but all that you guys have really seen has just been their music, which is fantastic, obviously. But giving them a little bit more screen time and presence in Death Battle, I think they absolutely deserve, and they're awesome people. So that's something I absolutely wanted to do. Yeah, so I think that's going to be really cool. Let us know if you want more. I suppose now we can jump into what's going on and figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
what's going on? So I wanted to talk about two things, which is kind of about like directorial things, how things are decided and put together.
Can I do one really fast before you start?
Sure, go for it.
Go vote on the next DBX. There's a tweet on there's a tweet on Twitter.
Wait, are you posting that right now?
No. I posted it a little while ago. I posted when we started.
It looked like you were typing, and I was like, "Are you posting that in the middle of the show?"
I was going to copy paste it into the chat. Is what I'm doing. That's why I started typing. But
gotcha.
yeah, go vote. Deal with it. Yeah.
That's
all I got.
Death Battle on Twitter.
I mean, that was going to be the next segment. Is going to be about the next. Anyway.
I was
trying to get it in earlier on in the show.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. So what I wanted to talk about was directorial with DBX and Death Battle. So the first thing I want to say, we can't really talk too much about it.
Yeah.
Because obviously we haven't announced episodes for the second half of Death Battle. But Death Battle does have 10 more episodes coming up this year, starting in August, and a couple of them will be directed by. Sorry to spring this on you, Josh. This announcement, but Josh over here will be directing a couple of them, which is awesome. So we actually just got through some storyboards for one of his episodes that he's working on, and it's gonna be really cool, guys. He's doing an awesome job. I'm excited for him to jump into it.
Thank you.
We're still very early on in the process, Josh. But how is it, without spoiling which fights you're working on and whatnot? How has it been for you, kind of jumping into such a weird project as Death Battle? You've been editing it for a long time, but now you're like in charge of how it's going to look and work.
And you've written an episode too.
Yeah,
and you're a writer too.
A couple more this season that are coming out that I've written. I will try very hard not to spoil it. That's the main thing I'm trying to do. No, but it's fun. It's great. Like
Cody, get ready to just cut him.
Get the mute button ready.
It's daunting to jump onto any kind of a project as a director because you are leading it. But what's great is to start on a project as an editor and a writer and get a feel for it, and to have been with you guys for so long before getting to do that just means I have that much more of like this starting point. That's great. So I know what the show looks like and feels like. And it just helps me shape the vision that I will then like lead with, And I got my first episode is 2 incredibly cool characters that I already really love. So it's going to be really fun to bring that to life. It's been great. The answer to your question is it's been
good. Well, that's good. Because I'm always a little worried when bringing somebody onto Death Battle that it will just be overwhelming. Because there are, like, it's not necessarily a bigger show than something like Ruby or Red versus Blue or Camp or whatever, but it is a lot less straightforward. Those shows have a very distinct pipeline with like writing, editing. It's all just one big story, essentially, right? Death Battle has so many different like pieces to just the episode as a concept that have to be worked on separately. The fight, the research, the script, the host animation. There's a lot going on. So it's definitely important to bring somebody on as a director who can juggle a lot of different things at once, which is why you're on it. So it's going to be really cool.
Real talk, out of all the jobs that I've ever managed, Josh is one of my best hires. I'm very proud of you, Josh. You're an incredible employee, and you continue to be. You're coming up on 3 years, right?
Yeah, 3 years in August.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
as soon as Death Battle starts back up.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Yeah, I mean, you're even going into announcements that have been vaguely announced, but we don't have a lot of details on. But you're also working on Red versus Blue a little bit, which is going to be cool. I don't know if we're allowed to talk too much about that, but
Torian's fucking Twitter video where he's just like, "Oh, and I don't know. I didn't tell Rooster Teeth I was going to do this," and I was like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, so we have more information about
the rest of his team. Look, none of us knew that was coming.
which a hot take. I'm fully behind that attitude because I completely understand. Like,
oh, of course.
Sometimes, like, if you shoot some shit towards, like, oh, hey, can we get this approved for social or something? It's like the genuinosity. I don't know what the fuck the word is there, but like, kind of
one of our writers
dies
everybody.
in the process of. Yeah, it dies in the process of like waiting for approvals and all this other dog shit. So like, yeah, just bust it out. Like, fuck it, go for it. Like, I don't know, live your best life, Dorian. Do it.
Well, it's also like the season of RVB. Not to get too into RVB because I don't know how much we're honestly allowed to talk about right now. But it is very much like his vision, and it's going to be really cool. Anyway, speaking of vision, I did want to talk to you, Sam, a little bit about. Maybe some of the matchup selection for DBX. I know people weren't expecting. Basically, I'm seeing a lot of people asking questions in the chat, like, "What's the difference between Death Battle and DBX when it comes to picking matchups?" Because DBX is obviously a show that we can kind of do some very unexpected and unusual matchups, like Mulan versus Lucina, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, DBX is like the picking matchup process. There's like it's like a weird multi-headed funnel that goes into what gets picked. Essentially, like some of them come from like great ideas we wanted to have on a death battle, but didn't necessarily fit it well, or like the matchup just didn't kind of make sense or was too one-sided. Like some of those fall into death battle. Sometimes an animator comes to us with a fight they really want to do, and we're like, yeah, that sounds dope. Let's do that. Some we just kind of are like kind of came like I think 2 this season came from people on the staff just being like, I just want to see this shit, right? Like I got one which was funny because it wasn't on the list at all, and then we had one of our like animations that we were going and we were making, like obviously I don't want to say the name of the matchup, but we were making a matchup, and then due to circumstances it completely fell through, and we were like, oh well, we need another episode, like episode 9 just to shit the bed. We need another episode 9, like, and it doesn't make sense to do that one, just pass that same matchup on to different people because of like it was, there's a lot to do with just time constraints and making custom sprites and stuff like that. And then so I was just like, how about this, guys? And then got I will say, like, it's got a spaceship fight because I've always wanted a spaceship fight. So, like, there's some of picking the DBX fights in it that is just kind of happenstance and necessity. And yeah.
Yep. So then we all laugh. We laugh a whole bunch, and we're like, we have to do that one, like Thor versus 100 creature.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Also, like. You guys know, Community Death Battle has been sort of a testing ground for a lot of different matchups, and that also applies not just to Death Battle, but to DBX. So you might see some of those kinds of matchups in DBX in the future. And it's always fun seeing, like, also with DBX, something about Death Battle is because we are taking matchup requests primarily from viewers, from you guys who watch, it's not always as easy to get a matchup put together that like an animator that we work with or a writer that we work with really wants to do. Like they might have some characters that they really want to put into the death battle, but we're like, unfortunately, there's no real popular requested matchups for that. So we can try to figure out a way to fit it in, but it might be tricky. We can get 1 or 2 of those out a year. With DBX, that's not necessarily the case. Like it's very much a conversation among the team. Like, what do we want to do? What'll be cool to make this time? And then everybody kind of comes together to decide on that, picking their own matchups and whatnot, which is awesome.
I mean, Vegeta Thor was one that I think we did test as a community death battle. B, we all just kind of thought would be pretty sweet, but for whatever reason, it was like I think we've thought about it as a death battle itself like a handful of times, but it just kind of never made sense to do it. And so it made perfect sense to do it as like a DBX though, because yeah, it's fun and cool.
Couple people in the chat asking, when will Torian be back on the cast? Just piggybacking off of what we were talking about. He's super busy right now with RVB, so he's been prioritizing that, but hopefully we can get him on cast sometime in the near future. Maybe talk a little bit about RVB and also what he's been doing, because we miss him too.
I can guarantee you our shared bosses will make him be on when RVB is about to come out, so that'll be at the latest just before RVB.
Yeah, we miss him too, though.
But aside from that,
we love him.
Whenever Torian has time, he is more than welcome to come on the cast. It's just life busy when you're doing a show as big as RVB.
Mm-hmm. And again, we can't talk too much about it, but like he's putting a lot into it. It's gonna be really cool. Cool. Well, with that, I think let's go ahead and get to the community death battle.
Which is DBX related. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it is DBX. But I went back and looked at one of the ones from the old, like last year when we were doing this to make sure we were still doing it right. Oh, wow. Sign up for first membership? Insane.
I do that every time I join.
Yeah. So, like, because the voting's already happened, we can talk about the theoretical next match, which is what we did last year. But do you guys have any better ideas than... I want to open form this as to how we construct the community death battle as DBX.
Okay, so last year it was a confusing mess. we kind of messed up a little bit because we got ahead of ourselves and we realized, we can't announce this community death battle because we haven't announced that DBX yet. So I don't know if last year is really the best guide to base it off.
Most of it was pretty reasonable, though. It was just like last year we'd be like, the next week's fight. Like right now, next week's fight, you can go vote on Shantae versus Shovel Knight. That's next week's DBX. You can go vote on it.
And that's what we should debate. That's what when it was working, that's what we did last year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just didn't know if anyone had better ideas or wanted to try a new thing out.
Let's workshop some stuff.
Let's workshop this live on air.
Yeah, fucking why not? Like, I don't see, like, especially, this might be the fastest we've ever gotten to the community death battle segment. So I was like, we got time. Let's fucking
we're over a half hour
do a little. Okay, fine.
I think Shukaka in the chat says you should talk about the previous DBX results and throw your opinions on the results, which I think is good to talk about. Like the
actually,
spoilers.
That's a really
go watch the DBX before we continue, I guess.
Yeah. Pause this, but yeah, Lucina one. Yeah, see, that's a great idea. That's exactly what I'm fucking talking about, though. Now we can chat about that a little bit. Yeah, the last one, I mean, I really wasn't, like, super surprised about the poll results on that one. Right. I can pull it up right here. I don't know what the exact final poll was.
I kind of was. I wasn't sure if there would be, like, a Disney poll on like a nostalgia poll on it.
Yeah, we haven't really fucked with a lot of Disney. And I do want to reiterate to the audience... This is not a death battle. You don't have to vote solely based on because you think this character is stronger. You can vote just for the person you like. And that's totally cool.
It depends. And it depends on the person. Whatever you want to do. You can't just vote for the one you like. Like, I personally lean towards the, like, I want to vote for the one that I actually think will win. But you can do it however you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of DBX is you can apply your own rules to how you see the matchup and how you vote. There are no rules that we are imparting onto you, essentially.
But so it was 65 to the old 35, right? The 65% Lucina, 35 Milan. I just pulled that up. But the old 35. But it's funny talking about the fight. I hope you've watched it, but it ends this version. You should watch the alternate version. You don't have to be first member or anything. It's just on roosterteeth.com. But this version ends with Mulan getting thrown into a big fan, and Billy, the voice of Ringmaster, sent me a message yesterday. He's like, somebody pointed out that Mulan ended in getting eaten by a giant fan. Does that mean the Vornado made a cameo? And I was like, that's funny.
Oh
But yeah.
no.
Dude,
I don't know.
was post show, right?
What? Yeah,
Yes.
because that was the title. Of
Yeah.
last
So
week's
people
post
don't know
show,
what the
was
hell we're
Vornado, I
talking
think.
about.
Okay,
So
yeah.
if you're not a first member, if you are a first member,
Yeah.
we do a post show death battle cast after we record this.
Yeah.
Not live. It's posted later on roosterteeth.com for first members. And I think it was last time we talked about how you discovered a fan called the Vornado.
I did discover I bought a fan called
Oh,
the Vornado.
Which just weirded Sam out, but apparently he bought it anyway.
Well, it had great reviews, and I'm not going to judge a brand by its name.
Gonna get that 5-star Vor action. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I regret that.
So,
Immediately.
but yeah, like we were discussing though, the numbers over 12,000 people voted on that, which is a whole shit ton of people. Thank you. Yeah,
right.
it's like
I feel like we have to explain this. Like, because everyone's like, what is a Vornado? Sam has a fan. Okay.
The chat,
Sam,
the chat is a little
like a
behind.
room
We
fan.
did explain it. We did. I think we're
Okay.
good. The chat's just a little behind because live stream takes a little bit to catch up.
Sorry, my connection right now is having some issues, so I had to refresh, and I might have missed that part. Okay.
I'm also totally okay with people not knowing what the Vornado is. And us just talking about it.
Their
It's
own
totally fine.
conclusions. Yeah, use your imagination.
God.
Yes, it is on Sam's OnlyFans, which is for only actual fans.
Oh my fucking god! Is OnlyFans so hard to set up? Like,
Are you still-
the
you
amount
still
of
haven't gotten
fucking
approved?
Shit, dude! I've sent them a picture of me holding my ID, a picture of my ID, like set up the whole thing multiple times, and it keeps getting declined. I don't understand why.
Did you?
And I'm not
Well,
gonna
because
go-
you
like, I've done
posted
it
you want
3
to post a
times
picture
now.
of fan. You got to send a picture of you with the fan, like holding it, and your ID, so that they know that that's legitimately the fan, and you are the fan's owner.
Sure.
We'll try that, and
I
then
don't know about
when we
that.
come back next week, we'll get another update on your OnlyFans and see if that works. How about that?
Yeah, maybe OnlyFans is too difficult.
Sam's clearly very invested in this.
I wanted to do it, but somebody else, we found out that like after the show that somebody else was like had already beaten me to the punch, but had never like executed on it, probably because it was so fucking hard. They had like one post and was like, that I'm done here. So it's probably the same exact reason. They did just like me. They're like, oh, you get your one post. That's funny. Ha ha ha. And then they're like, send us all the information. Like, we need your social security. You have to send us like a glans shot. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the amount of fucking effort that goes into an OnlyFans is crazy.
They asked for your social?
No, they just want your ID and shit.
Okay.
And a lot of other like address and
that
everything.
sounds a little fishy if they ask for your social. I don't know about that.
Well, it's like the fact that they want your driver's license, a picture of you holding your driver's license, and your home address is like, if I was gonna put nudes on the internet, that's not the first thing I would want to give people. Like, but that's just me.
But they got to make sure, because there's
Then
a lot
again,
of
I
people
guess
who
they
would, like
gotta-
try and make money off of other people, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's specifically
fair.
for banking information and like identity verification. I get that, but also I'm not trying to, like, mine isn't set up. I was never going to set it up to make money. It was always just going to be open and free. Like, yeah.
Well, no, you never know. Just kidding.
You never
I
know
mean,
if
you
it's
could-
a dumb fan joke would make money. Like, I don't know.
This could be like the untapped potential that could make millions. Who knows? Like,
Never know.
you won't know until you try.
Yeah.
Sam.
Somebody else already tried though, and they failed. Or
Well,
they
it
probably
sounds like they
gave
just gave up. Because they got to this point you're at right
Yeah.
now and didn't want to pursue
have
it
to
further.
push
You
through.
have to. Yeah. You have to do
Oh,
better
but
than
am I
them,
really
Sam.
gonna-
Yeah.
Let me see if I can log back in really quick. Did I really use my RT email?
Yeah, do it live.
Did you
Do it
use
right
your
now.
Mr. Teeth email?
No, I didn't
Oh
log
no.
Okay.
Oh no.
God. And if you did, that would have been a really dumb thing to say while we were live.
Why? Somebody's gonna steal my fucking OnlyFans? Like,
Yeah, dude.
go for it. Go for
Maybe
it.
you get verified.
Oh no.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure.
So
I'm
anyway,
sure plenty
that's
of people
what's
wanna
coming up
do
in
that.
DBX and what we all think about it.
Well, that's what
Yep.
happened in DBX and what we all think about
I know.
it. What's coming up is
Coming up.
Shantae versus Shovel Knight, which Shovel Knight is actually. We previously did a death battle with Shovel Knight against Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge
for some
McDuck.
reason.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Sam wrote that one, I
I
think,
found
right?
out real quick. Yes. Yeah, I did. I was trying to log into it and it was like trying to make me do a new account. And then I realized it's because it's attached to Twitter and I was currently logged in as Death Battle. I almost started the Death Battle OnlyFans. I was like 2 clicks away. That would be funny. The fact that
dude, we should do
motherfuckers
a
give me these
boomstick
logins is
OnlyFans.
ridiculous. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh
dude.
my god.
Can you do that for a
Um,
fictional
dude.
character?
Yes.
Do what for a fictional character?
In OnlyFans? You best.
Yeah.
If there aren't like fucking dude,
OnlyFans.
if
I
there aren't
don't-
like dope fucking manga artists and shit on OnlyFans, I'd be blown away.
But
That-
Boomstick doesn't have a driver's
Blown
license.
away.
How are we going to verify him?
It's just a fake driver's license. Oh man.
Yeah.
We should probably stop talking about it before we get into something that might be a little illegal.
All right.
None of that.
So the next DBX, Shantae versus Shovel Knight. Shantae
Yeah.
is a character who I actually wanted to bring into a death battle for a long time, so I would love to see what you guys think of this DBX. The Shantae versus Shovel Knight matchup I have seen requested quite a bit, so this is definitely one of those DBXs that is based on fan request. I've never honestly really understood why this matchup as a death battle. Like I get the association that the characters have with each other, the company origins, things like that. But as a matchup, I don't know exactly what people see in it. So I'd love to see reactions to this and how people feel about it. And maybe one day it can be a death battle as well. Who knows? Just because a matchup, people ask this all the time. Just because a matchup is a DBX or a death battle does not mean it can also be the other thing.
And
I
this
think
one
we've done that a
is.
couple times.
I can tell you, I'm looking at the polls right now. It's 53-47. It's pretty spicy, which is crazy because the poll went up like an hour ago, and it's got over 4,000 votes. So people
I want
definitely
to know how much
definitely digging
genie
it.
powers she has. Because she's half genie.
Have you
So,
never
like,
played a Shantae game?
Yeah.
I have, like, I know she can whip her hair and stuff. It's just been a very long time since I played Shantae, and I just
She's got hair powers, Bayonetta style almost, and she can do
Transform into
transformations.
stuff. Yeah.
That's like her main thing.
Yeah,
Some
still
music
remember.
She's got a
stuff.
couple like magic projectiles too, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's. I mean, it's not like a genie like
Right.
Robin Williams popping out of the lamp and going like magic. Here we go. Everything works out his way.
Right.
But she's got
She's only
plenty
half
of
genie, so
magic powers.
She's only semi-phenomenal, nearly cosmic powers right now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so definitely go vote on that. The poll is linked underneath the Mulan versus Lucina DBX, as well as on our Death Battle Twitter. So go check that out after this show. Let us know who you think should win, and let us know why. We'd love to know what you think of the matchup just in general, and who you think should win and why. Because that not only lets us know, gives us more insight into the DBX, but it also into like why you guys like these characters, and if these characters appear later on, what we should think about and things like that. So always worth talking about.
So
And I
since
think
her
that
dad
kind of
was
wraps things
human
up.
and her mom was a genie, how do you think that went down? Do you
that's
think that
actually
was
a
like?
joke in the episode. Like, there's a line in the episode. It's like, she's half genie, which means one of her parents was quite the exhibitionist. Like, because
Yeah, but I mean, like,
somebody's-
so how
yeah.
does that work? Is her mom like a free genie? Because we're gonna get into some real problematic shit if it was like,
Oh,
you know,
I
hey,
never
I
thought
can't make
about
anyone
that.
fall in
Oh,
love, and I can't
oh,
bring
no.
anyone back from the dead. It's like, well, I got a wish that I bet you're not expecting. So like,
Yeah,
up.
spicy.
I don't know.
Weren't they together in like I Dream of Jeannie? Like, wasn't that whole show like that, based on that premise?
No,
No, they
weren't- they weren't
she
together?
Consensually fell in. I think they have
Eventually,
right. Because it did
I don't
start out
know
as
the
master,
season
and
finale
then-
of I Dream of Jeannie, but yeah, it definitely.
It was
started out
Why
also
not?
very like. This
Why
was
are we
back in the
always
day, so
talking
it was
about the
probably
season
full of some
finale?
sexist bullshit.
Oh God.
Also,
I think
Um,
the
in the
concept
new
alone
Aladdin,
is pretty sexist.
Will Smith and her little friend had a thing going. Did anybody see the new Aladdin?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they had like a romantic thing going, but you know, so it's happened before.
The genies
I mean,
in okay. You're applying Disney's Aladdin rules to genies. Genies or jinn exist as a concept outside of just
I know.
wish.
It's not
slaves.
It wasn't a wish
Like-
genie. Got it.
Yeah. So she was just a genie that existed in the, according to the Shantae wiki, which I'm sure is 100% correct, a guardian genie that protected Sequin Land from monsters and mishaps.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So she's a Sequin guardian.
Clearly, we
Good,
know what she
got it.
wasn't protecting. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for this episode of Death Metal Cast.
Goodbye.
I'm sorry it got weird. We'll see you in the next one. And if you're our first member, be sure to check out our post-show Sudden Death. Thank you
Yeah,
so
I'm going
much.
to talk about when I went to the hospital last week.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
yeah, that sounds fun.